Welcome to the Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with Chief Political Correspondent Byron York. And Byron, in one of your newsletters this week, you write about how Biden's plunging approval ratings aren't the problem, but really a reflection of the problem. Do you think that the White House recognizes what those problems are, and do you see evidence that they're sort of pivoting to address them?
Not really. Every White House that gets in trouble, Democrat, Republican, when the ratings start going down, they believe that they have a communications problem. It's a messaging problem. We're not doing anything wrong. Our policies are good and they're popular, but we're just not communicating well. Now, with Biden, obviously, you have inflation, you have his inability to handle COVID in the last several months. You obviously have the disaster in Afghanistan, and his ratings have plunged. He's well underwater, probably about 12 points underwater in the Real Clear Politics average of job approval polls. And so there's a clear worry in the country about the way he has handled these problems. And given that inflation is a big worry, there's a worry that he's just going to make it worse by trying to pass another huge spending bill. So these are real substantial things. But the White House believes it hasn't communicated well enough. So they're going to send Biden to Detroit and send him to Pennsylvania and send him to all sorts of New Hampshire, all sorts of swing states for 2024 in case he runs, and try to fix this problem without fixing the problem. It is a classic White House response.
Do you think that the potential credibility problem that Biden has from, downplaying inflationary concerns that we always talked about the border in a sort of disingenuous way could hurt those efforts to sort of sell something when that messaging is already falling apart?
Yeah, first of all, you have to remember, if you watch Joe Biden over the years, he was a senator for 1 million years, and nobody in that time, other than Joe Biden himself, said, Joe Biden would be a great president. So there's he's just not, he doesn't actually know how to deal with the substance of the problem. So again, he relies on a better communication strategy.
And finally, you wrote in recent weeks about the 2024 picture for the presidential and how it's emerging on both sides. I know we're a long way off, but why did you describe it as being so uncertain? Well,
it is a long way off. It's 3 years off. But I think it's overshadowing everything that's happening now, even the midterms. And the reason I wrote about it was, it is the most uncertain picture on both sides that we have ever seen. A new president, just in office, is assumed that he will run again. We have a name for presidents who can't run again or won't run again. It's lame ducks. It connotes weakness. And so Joe Biden is our oldest president ever, 79 years old, never been a president that old, and he's asking us to serve his first term until 82, and if he runs for re-election, to serve until he's 86. This is absolutely unprecedented. We've seen new polls suggesting that Americans are not fully confident that the president's health and stamina and mental acuity is really up to the job. It's not like he has Alzheimer's, he doesn't have dementia. He's just an older man who has slowed down, and it's a really, really big job. What we've seen now is the White House, the Biden part of the White House, attacking the Kamala Harris part of the White House. We've seen these leaks. There was a big story in CNN which essentially had Biden people talking about dysfunction in the vice president's office. So you have a president who is weak. A lot of Democrats think he might not run again. And he senses that his successor is kind of circling around him, just in case. But the successor herself is weak, never popular really with the Democratic electorate, and she senses challengers circling around her. We've seen articles about Cory Booker and Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg, all of whom were candidates in the Democratic primaries in 2020, kind of circling around the possibility of running again. So you have that uncertainty on the Democratic side, and that's the side with the incumbent president that should have some certainty now. And then, of course, you have the Republican side, which is completely crazy for another reason, which is the presence of Donald Trump and the sort of hovering of Trump over the entire race. I talked with people in Iowa, the first voting state, and they've had 8 Republican candidates in Iowa in the past few months. A lot of people are going there, everybody notably except Ron DeSantis, who has not gone there. But everybody else has been there. But they're all running if Trump doesn't run campaign. They want to be in a good position if Trump does run, but they believe that if he does choose to run, then he'll clear the field, they'll probably get out. So you've got this incredible uncertainty on both sides of the race, and I don't think we've ever seen that before.
Byron, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here today. You can get more of Byron's reporting by signing up for his weekday newsletter, Byron York's Daily Memo, at WashingtonExaminer.com.